Ladies and gentlemen, aliens and germs, whatever you are, wherever you are, welcome to Sunday in Space! Alright, we have some good audio, video looks good, everything's rolling there, tweets out. Starting a new game for this challenge. This is just a temporary challenge I wanted to take on. Surprisingly, I did not accomplish it last night because I kept failing right at the very end. Like, we were at 98% complete. We could have done it. We were so close. We were actually on our way home with Jebediah on the third attempt, and this close. He got lost in orbit. So, we're going to try again tonight. I actually did go back and review my VOD from last week to see what I had done differently, and I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, oh, wow, I thought of that? Who knew? So we're going to do it that way tonight. And see about, accomplishing a whole bunch of stuff. So the challenge, in case you didn't know, first of all, no restarts, no, wait, what? Oh, links. Dang it. Nightbot did that? I thought I had fixed that. Good grief. First it was Nightbot, then it was the Twitch auto mod. I don't know how to fix it. One of those things keeps stopping my links. Like, I literally have tried multiple times. I don't know how to fix that. Can you DM it to me then? Anyhow, here's what I've got. No reverts, no quick loading. So there are these folks that have been doing these challenges to land on the moon last week to see who could be the first one there. And yeah, it took them a couple of days. Actually, it was 2 weeks ago now that I think about it, because this last week was the one that I'm on now. Permit, snack list. Okay, let's try that. Ah, okay, nice. Thank you. I'm glad somebody knows what they're doing, alright? Anyhow, so 2 weeks ago, the challenge was to land on the Mun, EVA, and plant your flag. It took them 2 days to figure that out. And a lot of help from their chat, which had a lot of trolls also. Yeah, I did it in an hour and 1 minute and some more seconds. Last night, I was able to do all that. But the return, that's the new challenge. So you gotta get your Kerbal to the Mun, land, plant a flag, and return that Kerbal safely home. I always failed on the return part at the very end. Duna mission underway. Oh, Discord. Okay. I'll have to go look at that at a different time because I don't have Discord up right now. So, and then when we get back to our regular scheduled career, that's when I will do the, start working on my Duna mission. Also, I have to finish up some Minmus missions. Won't take you to Discord? Oh, really? Hang on a second. I gotta rearrange some windows. Just to be on the safe side. Oh, nice. How do you have 2 launch pads? It must be a mod of some kind? I've never seen that before. Looks like a big modified Saturn V, yeah? KSC Extended mod. Gotcha. Everybody's going to Duna. I'm just trying to do this challenge as fast as I can. And then going back to my regular career. I'll be going to Duna in a little while. Okay, so. Shall we begin? Start! So now that I know what I'm doing... Ha! Alright. This all has to leave Kerbin in 60 Kerbin days. Wow. That's pretty wild. And is that career mode? Like you have to gather the science and get all that rolling? A multi-launch ship. Hey Lex! Putin Pancake! How you guys doing? Good to see you again. Welcome back. That's about all I can put on there, isn't it? Yeah. Very creative. Sandbox career. So I treat it as career, but I make up contracts. Okay. Brad still has not learned the lesson of changing the staging and saving it in the vehicle assembly building. Merp. EVA report, grab that, hop back on board, crew report here. Goo canister here. Stabilization is on. Let's go! That aerodynamic air forces is interesting to see there. Okay. And now, take a bunch of modified Saturn V parts, like an evolved version of the SIVB. Gotcha. We better deploy this just in case. 3 of those at the back, with 2 cargo racks and a Skylab at the front. Dang. Skylab was kind of big, wasn't it? Dwarfed by the rest of the ship. Well, true. But I mean just in general. Granted, the International Space Station is also massive in comparison to the Skylab, right? A world of difference between those two. So, yeah. Alright, splashdown. Let's get this goo. Let's get an EVA report here. Crew report, maybe? No. We got the one at the launch pad. Hero! And recover. Literally an empty SIVB. What does the I stand for? I don't recall. S4B. Oh. Duh. Okay. Ha! Third stage of the Saturn V. Test TD-12 decoupler at the launch site. Splash down. That was hard last time, but we know how to do it this time. This parachute, escape the atmosphere. Because we want the money and stuff. hammer in flight over Kerbin. That's high up. Oh, this is the hard part because I waste time selecting which missions to do. Let's do this one. I don't think we don't have the science for drogue shoots yet. Let's do this one. What does the contract say? Test the TD-12 decoupler at the launch site. This one is flying at this altitude, at this speed. Where's our decoupler? We're gonna have another decoupler. Because reasons. Do we have any more science? Oh, we have thermometers. These, we're only going to need 2 now. 1 on the ground, 1 in flying, 1 high up, 1 in the water. Let's make this 4. Yeah. And then altitude is 5,000 to 11,000. Stabilization is on. Seriously? The engine didn't ignite. It just went stage. Because, again, Brad's not paying attention. Engine and staging at the same thing. Also, forgot to do science at the launch pad, so I guess maybe that was a good thing, I don't know. But here we go. We're gonna do this. Can we get another EVA, maybe? Probably not, but worth the attempt. Okay. Temperature. Log temperature. Bam. Stabilization is on. Ignition. I should have grabbed another contract. Oh well. Okay, altitude 5,000 to 11,000. That was at 50% throttle, yo. Still breaking the sound barrier. Oops. Oh well. Let's go ahead and get rid of that now. I should have pushed that off a different direction. I hope that doesn't come crashing back down on me. Oh boy. So it needs 6 Saturn V's and 2 Saturn 1B's. Okay. Did we... Alright, and then the last one we'll do, well, the last 2 we'll do in the water. There we go. Okay. Contract complete. Let's do the time warp again. Parachute inflation. Focusing on SSTOs and space shuttles. Cool. Somebody was talking about that last week, I think. Now that I have some experience building aircraft. Because I've never done that in the years of playing Kerbal. Like, I've never had an interest in doing that because of previous real-life experience. Yeah, I'm considering SSTOs now. Like, that could make things a lot cheaper and reusable and all the things. Like, just, you know, 3 phases at Duna. Nice. No EVA report in the water? What? Crew report, though. Aircraft, they're rockets. So you have a powered landing then for your SSTOs? Is that what it comes down to? $20.3. We just snuck under that requirement right there. Aircraft SSTOs, not enough fuel by the time we reach base. Aha. Interesting. Okay, we know how to do this one now. Reliably. We can escape the atmosphere. Test the Mk2 radio merit power parachute over. That's at 1,000 to 5,000. That should be fairly easy. Actually, we can combine that with our existing contract. Barometers, we should add one there, one in flight, one at peak, one when we land. Radio parachutes, this is what we need in order to land safely at a reasonable descent rate so as not to break this engine that we need here. Also, let's lighten the load a bit. Move some fuel, move the tank, move the decoupler. Mk2, radio mount parachute. Okay, looks good. Let's go. So what about... If you're not having enough fuel by the time you get to space, does that mean you're just flying through the air for too long, or what? Because... seems like that should be a pretty reasonable thing to accomplish, right? What is our periapsis? I don't think I tilted enough. I don't know if we're going to splash down. Dang it. Apogee. Maybe we'll splash down. Just to play all the parachutes, right? We're not going to splash down. Dang it. Seriously? This is annoying. I'm going through the air too long and partially my crash design. Okay. So maybe work on the aerodynamics a little bit to make it cleaner going through the atmo. Because that'll help with fuel efficiency. And fuel efficiency is important if you want to get to space with enough fuel, right? Whoa! Somebody just wrote a novel. I'm gonna wait till this lands and stuff before going through all of that. Orbit will include surveying the surface of the planet for landing. 4 relays will be deployed for the mothership named Columbia. Alright, buddy. EVA here. Get me a good report. Nice. Crew report. Barometer. That one's already been used. Oh, this one hasn't. In this phase, as well as typical orbital operations, next comes the surface mission. In 2 landings, the crew and habitat and rover will be brought to the surface. We need 45 science for that. Tommy gun, don't. Okay, we are going to exit the atmosphere. Spend half their time at Duna in this phase. Actually, just because we're going to be splashing down in like the water, let's put one of these here. And yeah. The crew will spend half their time at Duna in this phase. Oh, another large paragraph. And then at this phase, after planetary ascent and phase 2 is over, the crew will return to Columbia for the final phase, retrieving the IFM or the Ike flyby module. Nice. Okay. So this time, let's make sure that we turn so we can get over the water for a successful and happy splashdown. IFM, the Ike flyby module, serves as a small lab docked to the Odyssey spacecraft. Nice. This is the most dangerous phase of the mission. Oh, full deployment on the chutes there. Boy. As the Odyssey will have to target a flyby that will get them just close enough to return to the orbit of the Columbia, but not re-enter Duna. After the flyby is complete, the crew return home. Gotcha. Okay, what is the altitude limit for Duna? It's not as high as Kerbin, right? Because it's supposed to be the equivalent of Mars, isn't it? 50 kilometers, okay. Okay, here we go. We're going to splash down, test this engine. Fantastic. We're going to do another barometer test. I know that we're just off the coast again, probably not going to get anything. Oh well. Alright, recover vessel. Alright guys, we're going to leave orbit, or leave, yeah. We're going to go into space for this next mission. So we're currently at 19 minutes. Time to stand up and sit down. Okay, fine. I've been standing, so that means sit down. What does our research say? We have 30.7. Not enough for the next thing. Terrier liquid fuel engine orbiting Kerbin. RT-10 Hammer solid fuel landed at Kerbin. huge. 442 tons full. It measures 60 meters long. Jeez. Louise. Okay, since we are going suborbital, we got some things to mix up here. Decoupler. Plan for a Duna landing is to use parachutes until you reach a bit lower on the planet, and then use the engine the rest of the way since chutes won't be enough. Turn to orbit with the mothership to dock to it, and transfer all the fuel to the from the lander, then leaving the lander behind. That sounds like a plan. I've done similar things with Moon and Minmus missions. Since we are going to space, and we are going higher altitudes, I'm going to need extra science here. We have exceeded our launch pad. Suborbital. Save that. Doing it to save as much fuel as possible so we can actually return. Yeah. Cloud config was missing a bracket. Uh-oh. What did that do to your clouds then? Okay, solid rocket boosters, separation, main engine, MECO, upper stage, separation. Let's put on some drogue chutes. Just in case. What does our part count look like? 28? Oh, we can do some aerodynamics to get us some better performance taking off with our boosters. Fantastic. Look at that. Save. Okay, review again. Solid rocket boosters. Separation. Main engine. Let's put those together. MECO, upper stage, separation for re-entry. Drogue chutes, and then the main chute. Save that configuration, go to the launch pad. Nothing, it just made them not render. Oh. Oops. That's never a good thing, is it? Okay, everything looks good, all systems nominal. Escape the atmosphere. Actually, I want to set up some of these for atmospheric testing, so I want to get... So for example, when we're at like 40,000 meters, and then when we're at like 60,000 meters, so these are the lower tests at say 20, maybe 30,000. These are the upper tests at 60. And then the other ones will remain at, actually let's do this one also at 60. The other ones we'll do at, once we escape the atmosphere. Meanwhile, close the door. Let's go! Unable to render, I should say. Okay, same difference, right? Ooh, that was close. Near miss. All the debris bouncing off of each other. Passing through 13,000 meters. Oh, we might as well go full throttle too. Through max Q, there's 15,000. Begin our drift over towards the horizon for our gravity turn. Oh, there's 20,000. We might as well log our pressure data and temperature at this altitude. Alright, next up, 60,000 meters is where we're going to do these tests. There's our suborbital. Yeah, 50,000 ought to be good, right? 57,000. Man, that's pushing our apoapsis way out there, isn't it? Holy smokes. Was not expecting that. We probably could have done orbit, I just wasn't prepared to do it this time. Know what I mean, Vern? Alright, well, we're still going to splash down. We are in space. It is fantastic. Observe the mystery goo. Grab the science. Another barometer. Grab the science. Thermometer. Grab the science. Close the doors. Yaw to the, or pitch up. Deploy that. Let's do the time warp again. Escape the atmosphere. Completed. Alright, well that's falling through the air. I'm gonna go get some more hot water for the tea. Or at least get it started. So would you guys say that Duna is a pretty, like, simple mission when as far as going to other planets? I mean, I know it's the closest one. It's probably the easiest in that respect, but not necessarily as simple as like going to the Mun, for example, or Minmus, but in terms of like going to other planets, right? And since it does have a little bit of an atmosphere, I mean, it's kind of like re-entry on KSP. I imagine you'd want to deploy your chutes sooner, just because the atmosphere is so thin. Like, you're not going to have it, you're not be able to grab as much. Like, you have to deploy at higher altitudes so that you don't crash into the ground, right? Tend to be easier? Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, we're landing in new waters. We're gonna want to have Jeb do his EVA for this. Oh, we forgot to do his crew report in space. Alright, we'll do it when we go to orbit. Easiest to land on, but hard to get off of? How so? Like, what are the variables you have to deal with there that make that the case? Seems like it'd be easy. If it's easy to land on, it should be easy to get off of, right? No? Really, Jeb? Five times the atmosphere. Whoa! Okay. That's super thick then, isn't it? Oh, we got 111 science out of that run. Oh boy, okay, let's just grab everything, shall we? That is a little nuts. 5 times the atmosphere, huh? Wild. Okay. We are going for orbit now. So that'll be simple enough. What am I looking for? Coupling. Hearts count is at 27. Okay, that's fine. Basically the same mission, only this time we're doing it in space. Orbit. Save. I want to look at missions, contracts, before we go. Test the TT-38K reality coupler landed at Kerbin. That's not very much money. The LV-909 Terrier liquid fuel engine while orbiting Kerbin. TT-38K radial decoupler landed at Kerbin. Wait, those are the side decouplers. Eve is perfect for jets. Aha, nice. Sent a rover instead of Kerbals. Another speedrunner. Kerbal Space Station, or Kerbal Space Program. Blech. Trying to see how fast I can get to the Mun and back. Well, we got to plant a flag on the Mun as well. And then that was the first attempt for last weekend. We did it in an hour and 1 minute. We're at 35 minutes currently. So we got to get to the Mun, land, plant a flag, and return. And the return being the key part that I kept somehow screwing up last night. Like every time, the last thing we needed to do was return, and I got through all of this, no problem. It was the return, the very last action to do. Okay, let's grab this just because. I wonder... Yeah, this TT-38K Alright, so we'll just test this one. Put it on the side. Work on the 100% career category. All flags, all upgrades, all tech notes. Nice. Wait, what does that mean, all flags? Okay, we're gonna do a separate. This is the single. Well, we could do it at the same time as we launch, that's fine. SRBs, separation, main engine. Let's put this with this. And all Kerbals home. Oh. Flags on every body, gotcha. Miko, that's the orbit engine, separation, drogue shoots return, okay. 820, I think under 7 is possible if I don't have mistakes. Yeah, that's the big thing too. So yesterday, I think it's my first or second run, I had mistakes. I don't have a contract for Mun Flyby yet. I just have the contract for Orbit. Note. Test the part through the staging sequence when all test conditions are met. So, just like that, basically. Ha! Okay, and away we go. Alright, achieve orbit. So basically on this next launch, we're going to the Mun. Once we've achieved orbit and got all the other upgrades for flight planning and stuff. Normally you get so much money from world first milestones that the contracts don't matter that much. Really? Huh. I never noticed. Let's go to 75% so we don't lose too much of our throttle there. Yeah, so 2 weeks ago I saw these streamers having a little competition. Never played Kerbal Space Program before. They had to get to the Mun, land and plant a flag. It took them a couple of days, plus a lot of trolls in chat teaching them how to do this. I held my tongue. And then this week, their challenge was the same thing, only they had to return that Kerbal safely back home. I don't know if they ever accomplished it. I didn't see them stream more than just the one day this week. So I'm just trying to do the same thing, only do it as fast as I can. I'm just racing against the clock is all. Don't really have anybody else to compete against, and not really interested in that. I just want to see how fast I can do these things, you know? So that's the idea behind this challenge. And then once I'm done with that, I'll go back to my regular career mode where we're playing. We got some missions to Minmus to complete and wrap up, do some science there, do some more landing. We have some rich Kerbals that we've been taking on tours around the system locally. And then maybe a couple more moonshot things. And then we also have the contract to go to Duna. I don't know how you pronounce that. Okay, let's coast that. .81 kilometers for that apogee on the trajectory. While that's running, I'm gonna go grab my tea. Be right back. Let me check into the tracking station too. Okay, so we do have the upgraded tracking. We do have flight maneuvering and planning. So let's do the time warp to there. Okay, we're in space. Let's open up the service bay. Let's do a little bit of science. Really? No temperature log here? That's lame. Nothing there either. Fine. I guess we'll just have to live with that. Alright, staging. So long, main engine. We are going to orbit. And then we're coming back. Periapsis is coming up nicely, passing through 120,000 on the negative side, 50,000 left. All right, we are positive. Let's get that 70, and we're golden. We have orbit. Mission accomplished. Contract complete. Okay, any more science we want to do up here while we're in orbit? Basically, no. Okay. Hold on. Let me just prep these. We're gonna go land on the other side of the ocean, the other side of the planet, excuse me. We'll take all these readings over there. Okay, there's Periapsis. Let's get over here. Okay, now that we have orbital capability, we can get to the Mun. Piece of cake. It's the getting back that's the hard part. Alright, that put us in opposition, nearly at retrograde. Let's go ahead and burn full throttle. Retrograde for deorbit burn. Re-entry. I would like to land somewhat in the daylight, so that should be good. Let's go ahead and dump this engine and fuel. Re-entry confirmed. Oh, the mouse was in the way on that one. Okay. Get those promotional screenshots for the space agency. All right. Go ahead and deploy those drogue chutes. Time warp down to about 2,000. Okay. Main chute, pumping that thing out. Let's go. All right. Full deployment on the main chute. 700 meters to go. 100 meters and falling. Alright, good splashdown. Congratulations, Jebediah. Completing another fantastic mission. Gathering hardly any science on the far side of the planet where we've never been before. A little bit redonkulous, if you ask me. Yeah, nothing there. Alright, that's fine. $51 science, $210,000. We really don't need anything here. We can add stuff if we want to, just for the fun of it. But basically, after this part of the run, we're going to switch over to the other save anyway. This one, Kerbals can disembark only on... Oh, we do need to upgrade this, though. EVA place flags. We have mission planning. Okay, vehicle assembly. This is how we do it. One of the things that I had forgotten last night when doing this construction of the spacecraft is removing the drogue chutes. That's just over 100 Delta V available. If we had had that extra 100 Delta V last night, we would have gotten home for sure. Because we only had 60. We would have had 160. And we would have made it. It would have been perfect. It would have been just fine. You all ready for this? A really wild and crazy configuration, and this is how we did it last week. I completely forgot about this until I looked at my VOD. Aerodynamics. Structural coupling. How are we doing on parts? 24 parts. The antenna will be a nice touch. $12,382 for this rocket. That is all, surprisingly. 25 parts. Yeah. Alright, let's verify staging. So, gantries, release. Solid rocket boosters, ignite. SRB separation engine. Where's the main engine? Let's put that on there. This is MECO. This is our lunar engine. Separation upon return, and drogue chute. Like that's it. That's simple. Let's go! Kind of hard to believe. This is how we did it. Alright, stabilization is on. I'm going to put the engine at 75%. And, yeah. 3, 2, 1, go. Where are we at here? We're at 50 minutes. 51 minutes. On our way to the Mun. We are flying high, super fast. Here comes first separation, solid rocket boosters. That was kind of nasty. Let's go full throttle on the main engine. And the gravity turn coming up. Slow that down a little bit. Let's lock that in there. Passing through 35,000 meters. We still have 90% of our fuel on board. Apogee for this trajectory is 68 kilometers and climbing. Let's head towards the horizon. 70 kilometers and rising. Here we go. $55,000 meters and climbing. Thrust to weight ratio is approaching 2. Start pushing a little bit negative on the horizon there. We don't want to get that apogee up too high. We want horizontal velocity as much as possible out of this rocket. Let's take a look at the tracking station. Mun is our target. Periaps is forming. We're gonna coast this. We're burning way too much fuel on this. The apogee extending out there like that. Alright, 569 meters per second remaining. I should have stopped that a lot sooner. Let's do the time warp to here. Extend that periapsis out just a smidge. Prograde. Oh yeah. Thank you, thank you. Alright, let's get the periapsis to 70. That'll give us our orbit. I can't quick save Nightbot. Ha! Oops. It's not how this works in this game. Oh man, look at that. That's going to be nearly perfect as far as setting up this maneuver. The happy accident, right? Let's go to the graphical maneuver editor. Move that up to 2. Drop it back down to 1. What does that give us for periapsis? Let's move our window. Yeah, it's not going to work. It's only 789. Alright, there's 800. That should give us... Drop that back down to 1 so we can make smaller adjustments on that. What does that look like here? Alright, I'm gonna call that good. 795,000. We still got most of that main engine available. Time warping. Yes. Okay, now spacecraft is orienting itself for the maneuver. So we still have fuel. We have 511 meters per second of delta V remaining in the main engine. So we will have a staging event in the middle of this burn. And approximately, if you can see the line here on the nav ball, it's about 2/3 of the way through the burn is where we're going to do that, which makes sense. 500, 800, yeah. So, I'm going to rotate this. Lock that in, and ignition, main engine. T-minus 10 seconds on MECO, main engine cutoff. 4, 3, 2, 1, separation, and ignition. Ten seconds till maneuver end. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, engine off. Let's do a little bit of a thrust adjustment there. Let's call that good. Periapsis of 668,000. This engine has remaining 2,300 meters per second of delta V. Let's do the time warp again. Okay, so now that we're here, oh yeah, let's go ahead and extend our antenna just for funsies. That way we'll have good signal strength. Jebediah wants to, have good internet, cellular reception. Outer space, right? He's got to post all those Instagrams and snaps for all of his followers back on planet Kerbin. Tweet out a nice accomplishment. He is on Mun Capture. Let's focus view here. Okay, retrograde burn, 234 meters per second of delta V. How much? That's our periapsis there. 299. Yeah, we'll just call that good. We'll make it even 300. And then that'll set up with the periapsis, and then we'll set a retrograde burn maneuver here. Landing somewhere on the day side of the planet. We're probably going to want to look for a more agreeable landing destination, something that's nice and flat, obviously. Okay, let's go ahead and get to that maneuver. Hold up, why did that... What? Oh, fine. I don't know why that maneuver node was not on the periapsis. Alright, let's see what this... As the moon rotates underneath us, let's see what happens for optimal landing situation. We might need to do an inclination burn to push us to the side. Okay, what do we got? We're at 2,003 meters per second this burn. This maneuver will be 233 meters per second. putting us on a landing approach. T-minus 10 seconds. No. 25 seconds. T-minus 25 seconds to maneuver. I'm just going to speed that up a little bit. Ignition. If we can land in this nice smooth area here, that's my ideal landing spot. Hopefully that's going to be a flat terrain kind of, you know, landing. All right, what do we got? We have 1,771 meters per second of delta V remaining. Current altitude is 248,000 meters. Okay, we are going to have to adjust our inclination just a smidge to accommodate. Nope. I wanted a maneuver, not warping. Because I don't want to hit that crater. All right, 17 meters per second for that. Okay. That should be holding us up there. We're on the descent. Prep for landing, y'all. 40,000 meters and falling. Let's set retrograde. Let's set surface. 36,000 meters and falling. $20,000 meters. Let's pull on the right radar altimeter. Puts us at 13,000. Going full throttle for deceleration. Let's check on landing. Looks okay there. Bring this down. Yeah, that's probably good for now. 200 meters per second. 6,000 meters to go. Okay. Jebediah looks excited, doesn't he? 3,200. Let's go ahead and throttle up for deceleration. Let's get ourselves to 100 meters per second. Drop that engine to 50%. 1,500 meters. Going to begin decelerating. All right, 150 meters to go. Looks like we're pretty good for landing. I don't see our shadow. We gotta be getting, oh, there's our shadow, close. Slight little bounce, a little bit of a jiggle. We're down, folks. Okay, hop on out, Jebediah. You are good to go. Do not knock over your rocket. Do you hear me? Plant flag. Mun and return. Speed. Run. How fast can you go? And that looks like an hour and 7 minutes. We're 6 minutes behind last week. So I'm not really sure what I did last time to be so fast. But I spent a lot of time talking afterwards, so the return is going to be a lot easier, a lot faster than what it was last time. I guess I should turn on the interface so I can see what the buttons actually are. Okay, 90 degrees. Stabilization is on. We have 1,045 meters per second of delta V remaining. 500 to get us into orbit, and the rest to get us home. Let's go. Rotate to 90 degrees. Turn. Apogee is already 5-6 kilometers. I'm just going to go straight horizontal at this point. And we're still at 50% engine. Go figure. Alright, let's do this smart. Let's wait till we get to the apogee again to burn. Efficient use of fuel, folks. Efficient use of fuel. Wow. That screenshot apparently just now fired. I don't know what's going on with my computer. Alright, let's watch that periapsis. Throttling down because the apogee is stretching out ahead of us. Alright, let's wait again. We're gonna coast some more. Periapsis should be popping up now. Alright, we have a 10-kilometer orbit. Oh, good job, Jebediah. We have 393 meters per second of delta V to get home. Let's add a maneuver here. 200 meters per second, and change at periapsis. Let's adjust our window to see if we can bring that down. Okay, looks like 3.4 and change. I want to make sure that we use as much as we can to get us as low as possible. And then we'll burn apogee, retrograde. 312 looks pretty good. 257. We have 393 remaining. Let's check the math on that. 393 minus 257 gives us 136 remaining. So an apogee burn of 136 delta V with 300,000 change meters to go. Yeah, that should be fine. You know what? We can make absolutely sure from this position. $66,270 delta V. 393 minus, what do we say, 270? Yeah, 123 remaining. So any other additional orbital maneuvering that we may want to do, I mean 66,000 puts us in the Atmo. We can definitely get back. It might take a number of like additional aerobraking maneuvers, but at least we know we're getting back, whereas last time we could not get back. So yeah, we're going to go with this burn, this maneuver here. Time warping again. Minute, or an hour and 13. That's where we're at. Yeah, what the heck did I do last weekend? I got moon landing and flag planted, including Kerbal crashing once, in an hour and 1 minute and some seconds. If I hadn't crashed, I could have done it in under an hour. So I'm gonna have to go back and review that VOD. VOD. Alright. Ignition on the main engine. 3, 2, 1, engine off. Looks like we still need a little bit more to get us there. Alright. Let's delete the maneuver node, verify, trajectory, and return. Whoa! We actually have 26,000 meters for our periapsis. Yeah. $120 meters per second of delta V remaining. There it is, y'all. Fuel to spare. Granted, we're running on fumes, but and then also, just because of the approach angle, I am going to raise that periapsis. That is coming in a little bit hot. Let's say 50,000. Yeah. And then we'll do one more retrograde burn as we are entering the atmosphere. Then we'll ditch the engine and fuel tank. Where's my spaceship? There she is. Good old Jebediah. Okay, buddy, let's save your antenna. Oh yes, let's do a crew report for fun. We didn't get any science on the surface. Oops. I guess we could have done that, but it was unnecessary because we're not going to continue with this afterwards. Okay. We're going to use all remaining fuel to continue to decelerate. It's only going to take off 100 meters per second, but oh well. Let's do it. Go ahead and do it now. Go ahead and get rid of the fuel tank. Whoa, buddy. Let's ditch it the other direction. Radial. There we go. Okay. Here comes re-entry. Look at that orbit dropping like crazy. Even at real time, it's dropping pretty fast. That re-entry though, I know, right? It's gonna be a long one. Command module is holding up just fine. 2,800 meters per second and falling. Periapsis is falling. Apogee is also falling. Apoapsis. 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 How am I going to get the captions to ever say apoapsis? I don't know if I ever will. So we'll just continue to use Apogee, which is down to 850 now. Alright, well, the plasma's going away. So it looks like we're going to need one more orbit for aerobraking. Let's do the time warp again. So what does that apogee look like? 770,000. We knocked off quite a bit. Periapsis of 45,000. Good old Jebediah. Cruising around. I had to help the auto warp. Wasn't quite doing its thing. Alright, what does re-entry look like for Jeb? It'll be a splashdown probably in this area. Or, no, probably over here. No, landing on land maybe? Or splashdown here? You should be seeing plasma fire soon. Apogee is rapidly descending. Excellent. We have full atmospheric return. Aerobraking confirmed. Take a look at his trajectory. Falling rapidly across the continent. Maybe splash down here. Yeah, he's going to splash down there. Excellent. All that fire. Congratulations, Jebediah. Successful Mun mission. And we'll set up parachute for auto deployment. Wow. Did I time that or what? Like, I was expecting it to, like, you know, be at a safe speed. Oh boy. Alright, let's pull up the old timer stopwatch here. Hour 22 minutes. Let's see what it is when he actually hits the water here. Let's time warp for this. Landing in real time. Hour 22 minutes 51 seconds. I'm gonna call it there.